In this video, we're going to go about cleaning up our pond since it looks like a bag of Skittles. It's colored blue and green and yellow and purple, and it will print with those colors since the options we chose. So we'll go about cleaning that up. I have made the outside edges square, so you can go ahead and do that as well. And then finally, we'll create some layout points, and we'll populate this table down here with our layout points for the pond. So again, let's go and start making everything similar colors. Again, you may need to explode grading objects. Just remember to make them back into feature lines and re-add them back to the surface. So I'm going to go ahead and start exploding things. And again, do it. Pay attention to what you're doing. Don't explode everything at once. I'm going to explode certain things in a specific order. So first of all, I'm going to explode my forebay. Nope. Not circle, explode. And it only exploded one. We'll do the other one again. Explode. I have my two lines here. Again, the 3D polyline. So grading, create feature lines from objects. Onto the forebay. We're just going to tell them to be yellow for now so we can keep them separate. I'm going to re-add them back to my forebay surface since when I exploded they got removed. The next one I'm going to do is my pond berm. Explode. Grading, create feature lines from objects. And as you see, all my surfaces are now being marked out of date because I've gone and messed things up. I'm going to make these ones green, again to keep things separate. Hit OK. Re-add that back to my pond berm as a break line. And I've gone and exploded all my grading objects. So we had taken care of the forebay in the last video, or sump in the last video. I've done my forebay. I've now done my pond berms. So if we rebuild everything, and again, Civil 3D will kick you back to model space. Rebuild, rebuild, rebuild. Come back over to drawing tab. Your pond should look the same. Everything's connected, everything's in proper order, so it should be fine. Last two things we need to clean up, potentially, are the two outside corners where the triangles are looking a little, they're rounding themselves off. So complete pond design, let's see if we can add a line. I want to add a triangle from there to there, and I want to add a triangle from here to here. So now we got our triangles in. We've got those two little bits cleaned up. Let's freeze off the layers we don't need. So we don't need the high water level, or the floor surface. And in my last video, I made the mistake of not moving the feature lines for the berm to the proper surface. So we need to get that layer back. So I'm going to use layer previous. I'm going to select these two feature lines and find out they're on pond floor, but they need to be on pond berm. So I'm simply going to select them and move them to pond berm. It marks my surface out of date even though nothing has actually changed. So just rebuild it, flip back to C5. So now I can freeze off my water level surface. Now we do have lines going through our forebay. We're not going to worry about cleaning those up. We need to break feature lines. We need to trim them. It could just cause additional issues. If you want to do it, you can go for it. But again, it's two little tiny lines. And then we should add additional lines onto the ends of those. But again, this gives us the overall view of the pond. So now let's start selecting our feature lines and see if we can do them all at once through properties. So if I select all my forebays, I'll select my sump, I'll select my berm. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 feature lines. What style they're going to use? Now we don't want this to print in color, we want it to print black and white. And if you remember from the color chart, colors increase in thickness from 1 to 8 in our CTB file. So let's go look at colors and pick let's make them all cyan. So this is kind of midpoint. I believe it prints about 0.35. So we'll make them cyan black. So everything is consistent. All our break lines are the same. Again, I'm going to save my drawing. We have no grading objects in the drawing anymore, so it should be a little bit more stable. Everything's still on different sites, but you can see they're all working together, but they're not reading off of each other. If they were, we would have a problem here. So finally, let's generate some layout points. So I created a new point group called Pond Design Points. Pond Design Points. Inside the properties, I included numbers 1 to 100. If your existing ground numbers should be slightly different. I'm just going to go rebuild everything and make sure we're using the most up to date. Not rebuild, automatic rebuild. So again, if you need to renumber your points, you can just select them, right-click, renumber, and add, say, 100,000 to them for your existing ground in order to use these other ones for your layout points. So under the points drop-down, we're going to create points. I'm going to select this drop-down arrow, and I'm going to look inside all these windows. So default layer, use current. Nope. I don't want them on def points. I want them on C dash, in my case, P, where is it under serve? C dash serve dash, and I don't think I have any. Any layer. So we'll make a new one. C dash serve dash layout pond. We'll select OK. So they're going to go to that layer. Prompt for elevations, automatic. Prompt for names, automatic. Prompt for descriptions, automatic. Default elevation, 0. Default description, we don't need one. Use point number. We want to start at 1. Point name template will come in here. We'll ensure this starts at 1 as well. So now I'm going to start creating my layout points. I'm going to drop down manual. So I'm going to click where I want these points to be. Now I am working through a viewport window, so be careful. If you start placing these in your paper space, they're going to go to model space down by 0, 0. So make sure you're working in the viewport. Now when I create these layout points, I'm going to go in a logical order. So I'm going to snap to the endpoints of items. So the endpoints of my outside berms, and then I'm going to go on the insides of my berms. And again, make sure you're snapping to the endpoints. Endpoint down here, endpoint down here. And I'm just going to continue working around the outside. Now when we get to the middle, I'm going to, again, snap to everything. I'm going to work my way from top to bottom. Again, when a surveyor is laying these out, think of how they would lay it out. What is going to be the easiest way to lay these points out? So snap to there. We're going to do the bottom of the sump, the other bottom of the sump, we'll probably go up here, lay out the forebay, and we'll do the same on the other side. And finally, we'll finish up along the south end here. So when I get all my parts clicked, hopefully I did them all in order. If not, you'll have to repeat the steps. I'm going to update my point group. It's displaying numbers only. I've created a layout points table, so just under points, add table. UTM PNEZ 2.5 or 2 millimeters. Select your point group. Maximum rows and table stacks. Hit OK and plunk the table in. But we see that these have no elevations on them now. So again, I can now select my points, right click, select similar, make sure your other ones are frozen. You're only selecting these 30, 37. Let's go into properties to confirm. Okay, I've got 37 points. I'm going to right click, I'm going to take my elevations from my surface. I'm going to select my complete pond design, I'm going to hit OK. And as you notice, all these points have updated. So I'm going to quickly save the drawing. And then we're going to confirm. So have these used the right elevations? Have we clicked on the right spots? Is there something else maybe wrong? We need to confirm these. So I'm going to right click on my pond design points. I'm going to export these. Nope, not unlock. Export. A PNEZ. Again, just it doesn't matter which one as long as you remember. PNEZD. I'm just going to save it to my desktop. Pond layout points. We're going to hit open. And we're going to hit OK. So I've exported these points to a CSV file on my desktop. If I open that up, we see it's put them all in the same column. So let's see if we can make that work. Well, I believe I did space delimited, that's why. So if you use comma delimited, it'll put them all in its own separate categories. I'm going to start a new drawing. I'm going to create points. I'm going to import them. I'll select my file, CSV, layout points, PNEZ, northern easting elevation, and hit OK just to bring them in quickly. Now, this is not the proper template. I've just opened up the default Civil 3D one. I'm going to create a surface. I'm just going to name it pond. I'm going to change the contour so I can see what's going on 1 and 5. I'm going to add my point group, just all points to this. This is only a test, to that surface. And as we see, Civil 3D is building something incorrect. So let's edit the surface style, turn on triangles, and I'm going to make them something that stands out, just magenta for now. I'm going to increase my contour intervals to 0.1 and 0.5 so we can see what's really happening. So Civil 3D is going and triangulating this how it sees fit. Now it's kind of done the sump, it's done some of the berms, it has not done the forebay at all. It's creating its own version of the surface. Now we need to go fix that up and just to make sure. So under edits, we're going to start adding lines. So I'll add a line from here. I know it should be connected to here. Now this all comes with experience and knowing what to connect to what. And since we designed the pond, it makes it a little bit easier. Oh. Add line. We designed the pond, we know what should be berms, and again we're having a little bit of issues. Add a line from here to here. Add a line from here, so you just might have to zoom in and do it a little bit slower. To here, we want it from there to there, from there to there. What's happening in there? So the sump looks like it's correct. Again, confirm yours. We want a line from here to here, from here to here, from here to there. And again, sometimes it doesn't quite work. Make sure you're clicking on proper stuff. Now lastly, the forebay. One line from here to there, and from there to there. So this is starting to look more like the pond that we designed. So if I object viewer this, and now is when Civil 3D decides to crash, I can take a look. Conceptual, so again, different styles that look slightly different. We've just confirmed that the points are correct. It's building the pond we want. Again, you can check the triangles, just look, make sure things are proper. Now we've only gone and done the outside, the important corners. Again, this is big enough that there would be a grid of points possibly inside the pond as well. A grid of points midway up the berms. That's a lot more work, but generally we will need more survey information to build this. But for now, this is all that we're looking for. It just defines the hard edges, the hard break lines.